Welcome back to Lecture 1 Part 2. And here we are. Here's the garden. Learning about nature. Nature is such a wondrous teaching tool for educators. The potential and opportunity to teach in this context is infinite. Will you incorporate environmental education into your teaching methods? How will you bring nature into the classroom or take your classroom out into nature? Our marketplace provided many examples of bringing nature into the classroom. These pictures validate and of course illustrate how nature is a useful tool for helping children, young people, and of course your students understand the value of learning about the environment. Then we really did examine theory by exploring various maps that help us to understand praxis. You see, then there was theory, real theory. We started to test our thinking and challenge our thoughts. We explored various questions about theory. For example, how theory can and does inform the way we do practical things. Mind mapping and its capacity to open our learning up to all sorts of old and new knowledge. Then the question posed, what is learning? This became the catalyst for us to explore a simple but very valuable map. We are invited again to reflect on yet another approach and how this model has influenced our own understanding about how we can learn. So take some time to examine and analyze these two maps. Einstein's thought process and of course Professor Richard Borden's attempt to build his perspective out of Kolb's theory. Maps reflect discourses. All learning is contextual. We need to always think critically about theory, its implications, and the consequences when it is applied. The maps we have affect us as learners and future teachers. So these are just some of the key points about how we use maps for learning. And then there were these ones. There were more examples of theory at work. The cone, designed to help us understand the different learners in our classrooms. What we can do to work with this huge diversity. The power of quotes and sayings, simple yet effective snippets of information and learning. That notion, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. Practical learners, experiential learners. I can't sit and read to get it. I actually have to sit and read, then get up and try, and then sit down and reflect on what I have. So we look at Dale's cone of learning, which talks about experience and learning. We tend to remember, and all these percentages are very, very useful information in terms of helping you to determine how you will create your lesson plans and your learning strategies in your classrooms according to who you have to teach. And more maps, more theory. Kolb's approach is probably the most simple, but truly, in my view, very useful in explaining reflective learning, or how we can come to know through our own thoughts and understanding. The different learning approaches and indeed the test we all participated in provided validation that we all approach learning in a variety of ways. So when we think about Kolb's experiential learning cycle, don't forget the 4 points. Reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation, and of course concrete experience. And the cycle continues to go. Concrete experience, what did I do? What did I see? reflective observation. Step back for the minute and think about what I saw, what I did. Abstract conceptualization, thinking about this process. Oh wow, what just happened? This is what I know has happened. We start to get these thoughts, and all of these thoughts are a little bit all over the place, but then we start to bring them together. Active experimentation. Well, we tried it out. We tried to do this and we tried to do that. We felt that we were better at this and perhaps we needed to adjust ourselves in this area. And then, of course, we stop for the minute and say, well, what is it that we learned? What did I get right this time? What will I have to do to improve on the other? So Kolb's experiential learning cycle helps us to understand the process, to understand how it is we learn by experience. And using this theory, we are able to unpack the process. Then there is people learn differently. Each learner brings a personalized approach to new learning. Which type of learning are you? So we were asked about the different types of learners. And so we have four types. So reconnect, re-engage, review, and ask yourself, which one am I? Okay, multiple intelligence, my 3. When you took the multiple intelligence test and came to learn about your strengths and weaknesses, something magic happened for some students. An example was seeing how this information helped to explain why they could never enjoy long periods in the classroom, or sitting reading a book was preferred over playing sport, and the list goes on. Some students took it with a grain of salt, but when the marketplace was fast approaching, these MIs were essential tools when fulfilling the task. The MI can help students to see, learn and understand how valuable this knowledge can be. For example, one can enhance what they do well and achieve, or work on their weaknesses to enable improvements and growth. Gardner validates this in many of his YouTube clips, and of course in the written work he shares throughout the lectures, readings and other resources. What do you think about your MI now? How has your thinking changed over the unit? Keep in mind what Howard Gardner said. An intelligence entails the ability to solve problems or fashion products that are of consequence in a particular cultural setting or community. Remember the strength of understanding our own MI, in knowing that this information can help us to enhance what we already know, to improve, to grow and to learn. View about how similar these theories are, yet each theorist has come to this understanding in a very different way. To gain more understanding, it is necessary for you to read and critique the textbook, references, and the readings for this unit. Extending your research scope will offer more depth and understanding about these theories, which in turn will enhance your own knowledge and scholarship. Keep in mind that Kolb and the other theorists have provided a number of ways for us to understand experiential learning, or the way we learn. This also means there are many theoretical options available for you to build a strong argument about learning and creativity. These tools are contained in this lecture and assist you develop a more scholarly understanding of the subject. The talking tomatoes. Some may say talking tomatoes is nonsense, but I say it's a great way to yabba yabba when there are walls up. It is here that we can and do talk about things that are often sensitive, deep, and perhaps not so comfortable for some to hear. Talking tomatoes reminds us whatever we say is connected to something, i.e., emotions, feelings, thoughts, experience, and the list goes on. So what is the message in these tomatoes? Well, we can start by being mindful of what we say and how we say it. Remembering these words are often connected to others in all sorts of ways, just like how a vine connects to various parts of a plant. This provides a safe space to explore, discuss, reflect, consider, and perhaps share. Creating a classroom where students feel safe enough to share, contribute, and learn. Remember that notion, offer and accept? This is how talking tomatoes can benefit learners. Creativity involves such factors as intelligence, ability to see connections between formerly separated facts, ability to break out of outmoded mindsets, fearlessness, stamina, playfulness, and even outrageousness. It is important to remember that our tomatoes, or our talking tomatoes, allows for us to stop for the moment, to think and to reflect in preparation for moving forward. So what did it take for you to create your marketplace? Here we go. Then there was the marketplace. Yes, assignment 1 was not far away, and feelings, nerves, anxiety, excitement, and even confusion began to unfold as students tried to work out how to create their own creative piece of work. Remember our lecture about the unknown, the uncomfortable feeling when we are unsure? This perhaps was our greatest opportunity to learn about emotion and knowing versus the unknowing. The need for us to rely on our inner ability to not know was the impetus for students to go forward and deliver great marketplace presentations. In this process, we were reminded about this place called Creative Country and what we need to do to get there. We learned creativity was an emerging process, something that often just unfolds. On the day the magic happened and we shared learning one with another, we also learned everyone is creative in their own way. How and when did you enter Creative Country? What artifacts did you emerge with? Creative space is a space of personal and cultural transformation, the place in which we lose ourselves and abandon our inhibitions. So, some of the works of art presented in the marketplace. Whoa, our beautiful ballerina, our artist, and of course our creative homemaker. My marketplace. Wow! When I think back to the beginning of the semester in preparations for the marketplace, and then on the day, what a celebration. Preparation stimulates questioning and curiosity about the subject matter. Illumination is characterized by the aha moment, or certainty about the rightness of a thing. Here we use intuition and knowledge as an emergent quality. Incubation enables a space through meditation or other shifts in consciousness in which ideas and responses can cook. What do you recognize here about your creative process in assignment 1? There is nature and color, jelly beans and science, and of course an imagination that just went wild in nature, in storytelling, in all sorts of ways beyond our imagination. Wow, what an awesome assignment 1. What a magic marketplace.